Well, thank you, Sister Jean, for doing this interview. We'll just have 3 quick questions, so let's get started. The first question is, what does leadership mean to you?
Well, I think I like to define its qualities more than by just saying a kind of a definition, because I think if a person is a leader, that particular person has to have what I call not just me, but other people call it self-awareness. So I know my strengths and my weaknesses, and I work on both, make me stronger and make my weak parts stronger as well.
Ooh, that's great, thank you. So second question is...
Oh, no, I'm not finished yet.
Oh, okay.
I have a few more things to say.
Go ahead.
Another one is ingenuity. I have to be creative. And I have to get people around me who are creative so that I can also bring the best out of them, and so that it's our idea instead of just my idea. And the third thing I like is love. I need to bring people around me that I love, that I like working with, that people who will contribute to the thing because they're going to be part of it, and it's their project as well as mine. And the fourth thing is heroism. I have to take a risk. I can't just sit back and say, oh, we've done this forever. We have to go on. We have to look to the future. So I think that's what a leader has to do, bring out the very best in the group of people with whom he or she has to work with or has the opportunity of working with.
Thank you, yeah. So second question then is, where do you see leadership in your life so far?
Oh, I think ever since I was a little girl, I had 2 brothers. And I was the oldest.
Oh.
And so they did pretty much what I said. my mom and dad used to kid me about that too. And also when I was in school, I always sort of felt responsible for the class. If the teacher asked a question and didn't answer it, nobody answered it, I was a little concerned about that. So I would try to answer it. And I have to tell you one story, if that's okay. Can I tell you a story?
Right ahead.
Oh, when I was in 2nd grade, the priest used to come into the classroom once a week and ask us questions in religion to see what we had learned and everything. And so this one day he came in and he said, well, he says, the Bible says that when God gave the 10 Commandments to Moses, he had them on 2 stones. There were 3 on one, and there were 7 on the other. And he said, what does that mean, 3 on one and 7 on the other? And I said, nobody answered. So I felt sorry. I always felt sorry if I thought the teacher was failing. So I raised my hand and I said, well, 3 and 7 are 10. You said there were 10, so that's it. When I was in 2nd grade, how did I know that the first 3 were directed toward God, and the last 7 were directed toward my neighbor? I just thought my neighbor at that time was the lady living next door to me. But I learned, but he laughed about it, and he had to leave the room because he was laughing so hard.
That's how they all do it, I guess. Yeah. Okay, then just the final question is, do you see myself as a leader, and why?
Do I see you as a
leader?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you better believe I do.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, I do. And that's what I'm going to tell you about a book that I really love. And I think you should buy it, and you should read it. It is so good. And I brought the flyer today.
Okay.
So that you could take the jacket, so you can take that with you. This fellow's name is Chris Lowney, as you can see.
Yeah.
And he was a Jesuit novice for a while. Mm-hmm. And then he decided that was not for him. But he uses everything that he learned, and he talks about this as being the best practices from a company 450 years old, and has changed the world. And that's what the Jesuits are. So I think you need to get this. You're filled with Loyola, St. Ignatius Loyola's principles. Mm-hmm. You have the right ethics. You'll be a great business guy no matter what you tackle.
Thank you.
Your personality will also attract people to want to work for you. And all those 4 things I talked about, you have.
Gotcha. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it so much. Thank you.